Okay, so you've probably heard of Kaizen, right? It always gets pitched as this gentle, Zen-like philosophy of continuous improvement. But what if I told you that what most of us have been told is basically a myth? The real story behind this one little word is so much more intense, more complicated, and honestly, way more interesting. I mean, just think about it for a second. What if the secret to making massive, revolutionary changes wasn't some huge, heroic effort, but a single step so small it's almost laughable? That's the core idea of Kaizen, and it's a question that completely flips our whole go big or go home culture on its head.
All right, so first things first, let's just dismantle the popular myth right now. We think we know what Kaizen means, but trust me, the common translation doesn't even begin to scratch the surface.
Now, this is the version you see everywhere, right? In business books, on corporate posters. Continuous improvement. It sounds so nice, so positive, so gentle. It makes you picture this smooth, easy, upward journey. But that simple, friendly translation is definitely hiding something. Yeah, that pleasant-sounding definition, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. It's not that it's wrong, exactly. It's just so incomplete that it's actually misleading. To really get what Kaizen is all about, we have to go deeper. We have to literally break down the characters of the word itself. And this is where it gets really interesting. The character Kai, it's actually made from the symbols for self and a whip. Seriously. The idea is having the discipline to whip yourself into changing. And Zen, it can mean sacrifice for the good of the whole team. Suddenly, continuous improvement sounds a lot less like a gentle suggestion and a lot more like a demanding personal struggle, doesn't it? And the story of where Kaizen even comes from is just as surprising as its true meaning. You'd probably assume it's this ancient, purely Japanese philosophy, but the reality is a fantastic, unexpected twist of history. And here is the great irony. In the 1950s, Japan's industry was completely devastated. Their products had a reputation for being, well, terrible. So who shows up to help teach them how to improve quality? American thinkers, like W. Edwards Deming. He taught them concepts like the plan, do, check, act cycle. There was even a US government program that got translated into Japanese as Kaizen Eino Yan Dankai, improvement in 4 steps. So the very ideas that would revolutionize Japan came from America, where, by the way, nobody was really listening to these guys back home. So here's the key. Kaizen is a synthesis. The Japanese genius wasn't necessarily in inventing all the tools from scratch, but in the relentless, culture-wide discipline of applying them. They took American theory and absolutely perfected it. And nowhere is that perfection more clear than at the company that became the gold standard, Toyota. Right. If you want to see Kaizen in its purest, most powerful form, you have to look at the Toyota production system. This is where the theory was hammered into a legendary reality. At Toyota, Kaizen isn't some order that comes down from the executive suite. It's an obsession that comes from the ground up. Every single employee is empowered and expected to find and fix problems no matter how tiny. We're talking about moving a tool just a few inches to save half a second. And these tiny changes, they create massive results. Get this, one simple little tool designed by a worker on the line prevented shutdowns that cost the company $500,000 every single time. That is the incredible power of microfocus. So how do they do this? They relentlessly hunt down what they call the 3 M's. First, you've got muda, which is just plain waste, any activity that doesn't add value. This is the one most companies focus on. But then you have mura, which is unevenness, like a chaotic stop-and-start workflow. And finally, there's muri, which is overburden, pushing people and machines way past their limits. And here is the secret that almost everybody misses. Waste, or muda, is just a symptom. The real diseases are the other two, unevenness and overburden. Think about it, it makes total sense. If your schedule is chaotic and uneven, mura, you're forced to push your team too hard to keep up, muri. And what happens? You get mistakes, defects, and burnout, which are all forms of waste, muda. If you only focus on the waste, you're just playing whack-a-mole. You'll never fix the real problem. But this intense, laser focus on discipline and eliminating every last drop of waste, well, it has a potential dark side. And this brings us to the central paradox of this whole philosophy. I mean, just look at this quote. It reveals what happens when this philosophy gets twisted. The drive for improvement becomes a justification for pure exploitation. A system that was designed to make work smarter and better ends up making it unbearable, leading directly to burnout and injury.
This is the non-negotiable part. It has to be a balancing act. The moment management demands that self-whip of improvement, but takes away the resources, the time, and the fundamental respect for its people, the whole system breaks. It stops getting rid of overburden, mori, and starts creating it. And at that point, it's not Kaizen anymore. It's just exploitation.
Okay, so after all that, how can we take this powerful and, yeah, potentially dangerous idea and actually apply it to our own lives without the burnout? Let's take Kaizen off the factory floor and bring it right into our daily routines. The principle is actually beautifully simple. Forget about the huge, ambitious goal that just paralyzes you with fear. You want to start reading more? Don't commit to reading an hour a day. Just commit to 5 minutes. That's it. The whole point is to make the first step so incredibly small, so non-threatening, that it feels almost impossible to say no. You're not aiming for a massive result today. You're building a consistent process that will deliver those massive results over time. It's how you hack your own brain to get past the friction that makes us quit. And that really brings us to the final thought. Forget revolution. Think evolution. Take a look at your daily routines, your habits, your goals. What's one ridiculously small, almost effortless step you could take tomorrow to start your own little improvement process? Because that one tiny change, that might just be the secret you've been searching for.